LAPD is group stalking. It's 3:23 p.m. Oh, excuse me, 3:23 a.m. This is amplification heard in my bedroom at 3:23 in the morning through, again, closed windows. And you're going to pay attention to my Google Drive. This is the entity, the demon-possessed entity, the corrupt entity, the obsessed group stalking entity that is sounding helicopter activity as I am uploading documentation, updating documentation onto my Google Drive, which is verified by the timestamps you can see on my Google Drive. Again, it's 3:24 a.m. The entity is engaging in a pattern of conduct not only pursuant to an obsessive engagement in stalking and monitoring with the intent to harass, obstruct justice, etc. The entity also does so while I am engaged in, at the same time, increasing that frequency to threaten by virtue of engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring via a corrupt law enforcement agency that's stalking you and demonstrating demon possession. And that's why at 3:23 a.m. again, while I'm uploading my Google Drive, which is documentation going directly against, let me repeat who's going to federal prison: Thomas Waddick, Tina Ree of apartment 1802 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 1. Thomas Waddick of apartment 1802, apartment number 3 here at Alvarado Gardens. The male that was patrolling in relevant position while LAPD was group stalking by helicopter, which is captured on video in the specific environment, whose license plate I will upload that documentation. He is affiliated with apartment 1808 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 5, with Marie Salon Danielle Levitt, who documented monitoring with the LAPD as well. He is on video monitoring. They're going to federal prison. The entity group stalking and monitoring with 1810 number 2, group stalking with Tina Ree on video, the entity vicariously acting on behalf of the Los Angeles Police Department, and they're all doing it under the light source. And I uploaded documentation as to the placement of that light source over me in an entirely different location, which is giving you a very vivid illustration of what is indeed the literally the play-by-play of demons that are surrounding me in a specific environment, and group stalking foolishly in concert with a corrupt law enforcement agency who was surrounded with a body of evidence. And that's what I mean by these corrupt law enforcement agencies. They are literally the admission against the people of the state, and that's how the evidence works. But it is currently, again, 3:26 a.m. and all that documentation is published. I'm going to include the only one that is missing thus far at this hour, which it doesn't matter, but I'll go ahead and name the details because the entity is monitoring me and sounding helicopter activity while I'm literally uploading and adding the final details. And so I want to document that, and I also want to remind you about who's going to federal prison, okay? It's the gentleman in the blue. That's not a gentleman, that's a third-party group stalker, a demon-possessed one. But he's patrolling with the blue SUV that was parked right here at the fire lane. And LAPD's flying right over, and that's a demon loading and unloading, repeatedly crossing path under the light source, which is nowhere near, by the way, over me on a bus in Montclair or Rancho Cucamonga, contrary to what I documented. All right, and that's why you really want to analyze the documentation, the video documentation, the timestamps, where I'm showing you at the same time an entirely different location, while the entity is again rising and setting a sun here in Los Angeles while I remain at the same property all day long. And then you're talking about what is happening, even the moon, okay, replete now with the moon in the same location where the sun is setting. And when I say admission to against the people of the state, that's exactly what I mean. It is currently 3:27 a.m. It is March 27, 2024. This is documentation going against the people of the state who are engaged in an obsessive group stalking and monitoring, which is a sex offense and ongoing terrorism that's committed by a public entity. The people of the state are in the shoes of the government, and they are maintaining criminal presence and activity creation, and they're monitoring me inside of the private space, which is a part of that sex offense. Directed light remains inside of my apartment even right now. So it is P.O.C. Again, 3:27 a.m.